And we're live. Okay, Nick.
Live.
Rebelcast. That might be your best one yet.
I think so. Yeah.
I think you phoned it in. I mean, you knocked Jay for his theme, and just recycling it.
I'll give Jay credit that he did write a nice jingle.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a one-hit wonder. In terms of that, he just played the same thing over. I can't do it every week, but I try to bring the goods.
You're you're a constant. You're always bringing something, except today. Today you got nothing.
Yeah. Well, I heard that Chris, I guess, sent it. The Star Wars song.
It's pretty great.
I couldn't top that.
Oh, sure.
That was sent to the Owen Brew. That was a song, like an emo rock band sang a song about the truth behind Star Wars and how it ruined his childhood. I thought that Nick liked it. It would be perfect for Nick. And I think I nailed it.
I like the irony too of the fact that it's like, if this is the thing that ruined your childhood, like what was your childhood?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it is kind of, it doesn't take itself too seriously. So
I should have cried when Han died.
I liked that. I liked that line a lot. So
what do you think about it, Jack?
I thought it was the best one yet.
There you go.
Yeah, that is true though. I never thought about it until I actually heard him sing that. That I didn't cry when Han died, and I should have cried when Han died.
What?
What? You should have.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
But I don't really cry.
At that point, he was old.
Well,
right?
no, I guess because it wasn't. A lot of times when especially the hero character dies, it's some grand sacrifice or it's something, and it was more of a dad to son kind of moment, and it went really south, But it wasn't what
killed him. Man.
Yeah, it wasn't what I think the audience were expecting from him. I mean, I think we all knew that Han would die because Harrison Ford had been wanting to die, kill that character off forever
for a long time.
Kill me already.
Do you think they should have gone the old Stand By
Me?
The
Wilhelm scream.
Tailpipe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't know how. I've never thought about it because I guess I just don't want to think about how I would write Han's death. That would be a very hard thing to do.
It would be like he'd have to be saving the day, and because of a maneuver that he made in a space escape, like he had to sacrifice himself along with the Millennium Falcon in order to save somebody else.
That's been played thoh.
Yeah, but that's how he has to go.
I don't care. It's been played.
I say you take it to the next level, and he actually in order to save everybody, he enters this virtual god simulator kind of thing, and he becomes Indiana Jones.
Well, I mean,
his other life is this. It's I don't know.
Well, think about it.
I've seen a lot of Star Trek. There's a lot of god entities out there. They can mess with your mind.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Even The Last Jedi. Not saying it would have been the same, but what if whatever they call it, I don't even remember the character's name, the Holdo or Hondo. Holdo. Yeah, what if it would have been that maneuver in the Falcon of only the precise nav computer that Han had could actually do that maneuver, and that's it. Not saying that scene or that scenario, but something like that to where it's I'm the only way you guys can escape right now. And then everyone's like, no, they just does it. Then it's just
and then that's gone.
Yeah.
And Chewie comes out as a secret, he was a stowaway, and he's like, I'm going too. And he goes to the cockpit with him. He's like, you're not going anywhere without me.
Right.
And he's got this big, huge.
He's like, let's go get him, Han.
Star Wars fans wouldn't complain about that.
Yeah. And then when Han puts his hands on the controller, Chewie puts his hands on there too.
Right at the top.
Over top. They pull it together.
And they kiss just before
exactly. They just look at each other. Yeah.
It was always
Star Wars from a good ending to a bad ending.
As they jump into light speed, his arm just goes around him.
Chewie goes, which means I love you.
I can't quit you.
I know.
I can't quit you, Chewie.
I know.
I would love to contribute to this more, but I've got to.
Just happened? I can't quit you, Chewie. Oh
I
my
can't,
god.
I can't quit chewing on you. So.
All right. Yeah.
People either gonna love that or hate that.
Yeah, I think probably a combo.
Now
of both.
that's an ending. I could have lived with that.
Yeah.
Christ.
We scared Matt away.
Because
Sure
that's
did.
how. Yeah, I know Chris. I know Matt and I both read a book called Bloodline that I really liked how it starts, and that's kind of how I also expected the sequel trilogy to happen, and that Mon Mothma is she's has passed on.
You were right. You were right. The first one. It's Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma, yeah.
Mon Mothra would be from Godzilla.
Right, I know. I just getting them. Yeah. Anyway, so she's passed away. She was the chancellor, right after the Empire fell and all this, but she's passed on, and Leia's up for the new chancellor. But then the opposite party, or whatever you want to call it, or the Empire, the people are still loyal to the Empire. Outs her as being the daughter of Darth Vader. Which kind of like puts her on the outs of the New Republic.
Well, there is a conflict of interest there.
A little bit, yeah. And that's how it starts, and then but you have like multiple. That's how I envisioned the first movie coming back, is that Leia's on the outs, Han is there to defend her, but I haven't really thought of Han's storyline yet. Then Luke's got his Jedi Academy going, but he's only got a handful of students, and then there's a lot of potential that could have went. I think that's where a lot of people envisioned the first movie back, is that we have all the main characters there. They're not the main characters, but they're definitely a major role in the first movie back anyhow. And we didn't get that.
No.
And I know this is an old 9-year-old bitching argument. But
listeners should be used to it by now. I mean,
not on necessarily the Ramble cast, but definitely
Jack.
on Bruce. Yeah.
I mean, he's been bitching about Dean Spanos for how long?
Oh, his whole entire
And-
Fuck Dean Spanos.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, to you, Kathleen Kennedy is that, person in Nick's life that he just.
The thing is, I mean, I don't know.
This is
I definitely would not meet her, and I definitely wouldn't throw a bucket of water on her if she was drowning.
Sure.
Why am I trying to blank on Kathleen Kennedy?
Why would
Casting
you throw
director?
a bucket? President of Lucasfilm.
President.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking casting director from Goonies, but which she was.
She was.
I mean, she's been a major producer.
That's what I like to
on
think
all
of
the
her.
80s films. She was just a producer, though. I mean, you have no idea what she did as a producer, but her name is on a lot of the 80s movies that we all grew up on.
Yep.
And it's
I was already grown up.
I know you were, Jack,
but I watched them.
Yeah. It's just that, I mean, I guess strike one was just throwing out Lucas's scripts for the sequel trilogy, and then just her. There's lots of videos of her out there basically saying what she thinks Star Wars is, and there's one out there that you can find pretty easily where she's basically saying what she thinks Star Wars is, and Lucas is sitting right next to her, and he just goes, "No, that's not it." And then they explain it, and it's just like, wow. And it's like, but yet he still entrusted her with taking over, and I think she did. It's not all on her.
Paid, right? He got his money.
The thing is that he sold it for cheap. He could have sold Lucasfilm for a hell of a lot more money than he sold for $4 billion. And I think it's just because he just wanted out. He's like, I'm getting old. That's enough money for me to live on. I'm good.
Oh, I hope so.
He could have sold it for $20 billion if you wanted to.
He could have sold for $20 billion and bought the Chargers and kept them in San Diego.
He could have. And I don't know.
Well,
I definitely have, from over the years of the leaks when they slowly come out, like of what Lucas's scripts actually did, about 70% of it I really like. There's a 30% in there I'm like, okay, we could have probably changed that. But I think his would have been better.
All right, I agree.
And speaking of Chargers, you got a new head coach now. I'm sorry to hear that it's Michigan's head coach, but you guys.
It's just you kind of look at Harbaugh. And it's a great hire. Of course, Spanos would have never have done that in San Diego. Never.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did people say, "Hey, can we hire Jim Harbaugh? Can we hire Jim Harbaugh?" And, no, we're going to hire Norv Turner. We're going to hire Mike McCoy. We're going to hire shitty coaches so we lose so we can move to LA. I'm not bitter, but But
I like how
look at,
Nick turned his bitterness to your bitterness.
Yes,
that was.
You're feeding off each other. Yeah.
So-
you look at Harbaugh, and he was the coach of Michigan, and why did he leave? Because the NCAA is about to
He's
throw
a
that.
cheater.
Yeah, they're going to lower the boom on him.
But
So-
but why did he get that job though?
At
Because he
Michigan?
left. Because he left the NFL.
Yeah, he's hard to work with. He can be a pain in the ass. I was shocked that, like I said, I know that Spanos has to do something to try and be relevant in LA, which he's still not.
No,
But-
he never will be.
But it just was like going, okay, you had Bobby Ross, who took the team to the Super Bowl. Marty Schottenheimer got fired after going 14-2. Why? Because they dared to offer an opinion. They didn't like what you were doing, going the direction, so you fired him, and now you're hiring a coach that you're giving full control to. How's that going to work? How's that going to work out? But like I said, he's a great coach, but what he did to Michigan, he says he's pro. He lives and breathes Michigan football, but he's leaving them. They're going to get sanctions. Who
Right.
knows? All
yeah.
this crap's going to happen, and he ran away. I'm like going, that is complete bullshit.
Sure.
I wouldn't even be surprised. I mean, I think the NCAA is extremely weak now compared to what it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But really, all three of the past seasons should be vacated. They should lose their national championship because of how deep the cheating went within Michigan. And I think that's really why he's getting out, because he knows that Michigan is fucked for like the next 5 to 6 years.
So he's left that town. I mean, I don't know how he can go back and show his face, but I think it's I lost track of what I was going to say, but no, but I like how he says, I didn't know anything about it. It's kind of like, I'm not going to mention Tom Brady and the whole Deflate Gate, which was a joke, but when he said he didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, right.
Come on. At least be honest. But when
he likes his balls soft, and he just couldn't admit it.
Here's Jim Harbaugh,
say it.
the biggest control freak in the world, and yet, I didn't know they were doing that. They just did it on their own. Come on. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But he's going to division with Sean Payton, and
I didn't know they were going to march on Washington.
I think he's really going to. I think he's really going to struggle. He might be a good coach. I don't know, because like Michigan really doesn't play anybody. The Big Ten until next season. Really, all you have is Ohio State. Penn State can be there every now and then, but that's it. You play one hard game a season.
Well, he almost got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Jackson Glaffelder. The Spanos family should have never taken over the Chargers back in the. And then you got these stupid Charger fans saying, "This is the biggest move in franchise history." I go, no. Yeah. Back in the late 70s, 1978, the Chargers hired Don Coryell, who turned the football world around. Don Coryell, who was a Hall of Fame coach now. He's passed away, but he's Hall of Fame. There wasn't anybody who didn't watch those teams in the 70s and 80s. It put the Chargers were.
That's late 20th century now, man.
I mean,
but it's still the history. I don't count anything that happens in LA as Charger history.
I don't either, because it's like, to me, it's the same as with the Clippers. Like, when you say the Los Angeles Clippers, no one cares about the Clippers in LA. No one cares about the Chargers in LA, because they're not LA teams. And to me, it should have almost been, if you're doing it for financial reasons, having a joint stadium in Southern California, that it should have been, hey, we're the Southern California Chargers, not these LA Chargers.
And you know what? I said that from day one. I said, if you really wanted to keep the people in San Diego happy, just call them Southern California Chargers. And you don't sit there and say, we're going to fight for LA when you never fought for San Diego. I mean, it's just rich people and their bullshit problems. But, we'll see what happens. But, fuck Spanos. And that's all I got to say about that.
There you go.
Does anyone else have anything to bitch about?
How about Bill Belichick not getting a job?
I gotta.
You never know with him though, because I heard that. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's definitely a few other coaches that might open up where he might get another job. Well, but he is getting on up there, Chris.
Well, no, dude, he got denied from Atlanta today.
Yeah, because they hired Raheem Morris. I can't believe Vrabel hasn't gotten a job yet.
I know.
That blows me away. I mean, I think he's I think the problem with Belichick is he wants full control, and he wants
control of everything, and no one's gonna fucking give it to him.
He's not. Most coaches are not good at full control.
Right.
And you just look at it. They just. It's hard to, because people are saying, because now they think Harbaugh's going to have full growth. Well, look what he did at Michigan. I go, okay, it's a little easier. How many colleges do you have to compete against?
How many can you cheat on?
Exactly.
So I mean,
it's like being a recruiter for Alabama. Hey, you want to come play at Alabama? You're probably going to play for the national championship this year. You want to do that?
You're right.
Or Georgia, or Clemson. Anyway, we'll see what. But that's he wanted full control on at Atlanta. And there's like
control.
No, we just want you to coach. And I think it's sad that he just won't give it up.
Speaking of people that want full control, the thing that annoys me, and I'm just saying this, like,
are we? I think we're done with people bitching.
Okay, no, I have one last bitch. One last bitch.
I'm kidding.
I have one last bitch. Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
One last.
I think we can all agree it doesn't matter what political side you fall on. Okay, on the entire wheel. Why are we having a primary election spread across all of these states at different times, different months?
I've always thought that's weird too. Yeah.
And yet we're electing someone on a national level. So there should be a national primary day.
Yeah, I agree.
We can all choose who we want to represent which party. Doesn't matter. You walk in and you're like,
well, this year, especially more than anything, we already know who the two people are going to be. It's like, okay, why are we wasting any? Why are we? Let's feed the homeless.
And yet we're all frustrated by the process, and yet we're cut out of it. Who had a say in Iowa? Right. Who had a say in New Hampshire?
I think it comes down to money, though.
And again, regardless of which side,
it's fundraising, man.
Yeah, it's fundraising. Yeah. I think they do it because it's not the national election. This is just a party election. With the primaries, and I think they do it. Iowa and the states first. That way, you're not spending millions across the country. You're concentrating in just a few little segments of the population.
You can still have the national. You can still have the national primary.
You could
its own day.
Yeah.
So if you're still electing for state representatives, and again, if you're still electing for House or Senate, fine, you can have those. Yeah. But all of those representatives are chosen by your state, right? This is the one figure that is actually on a national level that represents us all. And it seems really ridiculous at this day and age. At this day and age, too. It's not like, hey, we got the horse and buggy. We got to get on out to the next state and get the election. Come on. We can figure this the fuck out. And it would benefit everyone.
My biggest argument is, okay, again, these are the two choices in a country with 350 million people. This is what we're I mean, come on.
It's like I've said, though. Like, you have to be insane to want to be president. You do. Because, why would you ever want that on your life or your family or anything?
Well, because it's a moneymaker. I mean,
it is, but your entire life from that point on is going to be under a microscope. You're never going to be able to drive a car again. You're always going to be a hero to some people and a complete asshole to another person. Like, it's just.
Well, I think that's why it's getting harder to find people that want to run. But it's just. Because I think
or is it the fact that we as a nation can't even choose? We couldn't even have, I as an Indiana, I have no say in who becomes on the primary, so that I can have somebody on the ballot. I have no say in that whatsoever.
But who other than Biden's on the Democratic ballot?
No one.
Well, no one, the Democrat Party has done their best to just keep it him, because there's other Democrats out there that have been bitching that they actually wanted to.
I know Kennedy wanted to be on it.
Oh God, yeah, he's a fucking jackwagon.
But again, everybody nationally could vote and say, oh, hey, in Indiana, 50% of the people wanted Kennedy to represent them for the Democratic Party as opposed to Biden. So
it should. I mean, to me, it should be you should be registered for that party, though. I mean, it's one of the things with New Hampshire. A lot of people are bitching about that. What if we
eliminate?
The thing is that you walk in and you announce your party,
right? Mm-hmm.
So you don't. And
today is my 18th birthday party.
Yeah, but you're never going to get enough to throw that off, I think.
There's too much money involved.
Yeah, there's too much money. There's too. Yeah, exactly. There's too much money.
Unfortunately,
too
it just
much dark money too. I mean, just
makes
really
more and more voters feel disenfranchised with.
Well, you have people. I think when you have senators and stuff like that. You have people from other states putting money in different states to try to get that. I go, well, wait a minute.
We have the main election always on the same date. We should have the primary election on the same fucking date.
I've said across it for a long time. I think November 4th should be a national holiday. Everyone's got the day off.
Right.
It should be. I don't understand why to this day it's still not a national holiday. It blows my mind.
I agree.
Yeah.
But again, I go back to we should have term limits
May
for
5th.
the president, term limits for Congress people, and term limits for senators. They get one term. One deal.
Like I said, it's one of those things that's really debatable. I really think
it's not debatable, Nick.
No,
I'm right.
You are right.
No,
to me, a senator should be appointed by the state legislature, not up. It should be from a person within your state legislature, like somebody who's got seniority who actually has experience writing bills, working with other people, and they're just appointed by their state legislature, and the maximum of 2 terms as a senator. Now, representatives, however,
1.
I think it's 2, but
I think it's 2. I mean, you think about how many projects that need to get taken care of that couldn't be done in a 1 term,
and there are
discovered halfway through the first term.
You know why it can't be done in 1 term, because the minute they get elected, they have to start working on getting reelected.
Not if you're appointed.
That Nick's solution solves it.
But that's never going to happen, though.
The minute you're elected, you're making
there's a lot of great ideas that we can't just
it's crazy. I was watching some documentary somewhere, I forgot where it was, but the percentage of time these representatives actually take throughout their day, every day, to fundraise far outweighs the amount of time they spend trying to write laws or fix things.
That's why I say if in that way too, also you're going to take the money out of it.
Yeah.
Which is a huge deal, because if I got somebody from, say, Home Depot giving me $800 million, what are they going to want? They're going to want something. They're not just doing it because I'm a nice guy.
For you not to shop at Lowe's.
Exactly.
It should be made if we had a convention of the states, or if we had a Constitution 2.0 or whatever, it should be that. It should be very black and white, clear as crystal. That you are a public servant and you're going to be paid the average wage that the rest of the country makes. You're there to be a servant, not to be a elected aristocrat.
Not to get insider tips on stocks, not to get your fingers greased and free trips around the world, because we got to do a fact-finding mission, which we could just do Zoom now. But that's okay. Let's use the taxpayers' dollars for crap we don't need. Yeah. Anyway,
well, I just wanted to bitch about the primary election bullshit. I think it really makes you as a voter disenfranchised, because even let's just say I'm a registered Democrat, right? But I'm fed up with the status quo, right? And I could be lured over to the other party. Okay, let's just hypothetically say. So I feel like, okay, well, Biden's the man. That's probably who's going to get elected there. So I at least have a chance to make my voice as a former Republican, registered Republican, or just walking in and saying that I'm a Republican, so that I can at least have a voice in who I could have as an actual, or vice versa. If people are like, well, it's just Trump, I want to have a voice into who the Democrats would elect, then you would actually have that.
And you also have an argument for expanding from a 2-party system.
Yeah, we could have more of a quad, because there are four really, voices that are happening, not just 2.
I don't really.
Regardless of how you feel about the age or this, what level of senile either of them are at, it's basically like status quo shitstorm, or disrupt the government shitstorm. So which do you want?
I think that neither one will survive a second term.
Agreed.
Yeah, I just don't think it's because they're both, obviously.
I don't know. Dick Van Dyke, he's really
Well,
old too.
yeah, but Dick Van Dyke
So-
still got his. But Dick Van Dyke still has his. He sells his
Sure.
spoonful.
Spoonful.
He still has his wits about him. He's still, he's
Right.
still. It's different than running the country. Where you
So
have,
okay, so do you want like a Mad King George kind of
No.
situation
No.
where you have someone with power but they're going insane, or do you just want senioritis grandpa on the lawnmower just going in circles?
Well, that's why the vice president, whoever is
Because that's how I
nominated-
see it. That's how I see it.
I mean, whoever
Mad King Tyrant or grandpa on the lawnmower.
Fucking lawnmower.
lawnmower.
you see his wife over here. You've got to cut this part of the lawn.
Daddy, I'm doing it.
You're up against the fence. You got to come over here. You got to come over here.
I mean, I think
it's
that,
just over here measuring the drapes, sweetie.
That's just a bunch of malarkey.
Anyway,
yeah, I think that's why the whoever is chosen for vice president. Because I mean, no one, like last time, no one wants to vote for either one of these two guys. But both of them have to pick a better vice president, because if Trump gets elected, he has to realize that most likely it's going to flip back Democrat after 4 years. And he has to pick someone who can take the reins up of his meshes, just like I'm talking about political ideas,
face it,
Matt.
Trump wanted someone like Pence who had no spine and just did whatever he wanted.
Biden can't pick Harris again. He can't.
No, he's gonna go with Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, he can't. You can't, because no one wants.
Who's done wonders for California?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like we're always fucked. I mean, since especially the three of us, ever since we've ever been able to vote, we're always fucked every 4 years.
Yep.
And it's just it's like the South Park episode. You choose between a douchebag and a shit sandwich. It's like fuck.
There used to be, like 16 people for each party trying to run, and at least you had a choice. Now it's like, okay, do I pick the really old guy or the really old guy? I don't know. And their vice president, I'm not liking either one of those two.
Yeah.
Well, it ended with Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
Remember when the worst thing you could do as a vice president was spell potato wrong?
Yeah.
Right.
And,
oh damn.
There's a lot of worse things we could list on, but
I listened to some of the, and I go, I don't even know what you're trying to say.
yeah.
You know what they need? You know what they need more of, like during like those the debates, is commercial breaks.
Commercial break. There we go.
Wow. Already.
So I've been watching Fargo.
I've been watching you.
Have you? Yeah, I don't know why. I guess because I saw John Hamm's picture, and I'm not even on season 5 of.
Oh yeah,
but I never
Fargo.
had watched. I never had watched Fargo. But
yeah,
I watched
first 2 seasons.
I've been meaning to watch that, so I watched all season 1, which is an excellent season.
Season 1 is perfect.
Season 2. I'm about halfway through season 2. I'm not really a fan of season 2 as much because they're all just imbeciles. Every single character.
You think they're running for president?
Yeah. But I know it's a pretty solid series though throughout the whole thing. So I'm like, okay, I like that it's an anthology series. Each season is a standalone, but they are somewhat related. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like how they
in Fargo.
It's all in that Midwestern area, Fargo and Minnesota, and it's in watching all these actors doing more of a Canadian accent than because it's all like, we're going out. Yeah, it's just like, oh gosh, it's just over the top. You start talking like that.
Season 2 is
favorite. Season 2 is your favorite, Matt. Interesting. I mean, like I said, I'm only halfway through it. But the Kirsten Dunst character drives me nuts, and and I guess just because like everyone is just an absolute idiot, except for the sheriffs, the Ted Danson and the other guy. But anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, I need to go back through and watch that. I'd seen that John Hamm was also involved with.
You can't go wrong with John Hamm.
I did know that, Matt. Yeah, how Kirsten Dunst and her husband got together on the show. Yeah,
still trying to figure out that one, but that's. I mean, who am I to complain?
Hey,
I did start watching.
You got it.
I just started watching season 4 of Better Call Saul. I said I can. I got. How many seasons are there?
5 or 6?
5,
6.
and because I hadn't watched it since season 3, so I'm way behind. How did the blonde girl, how did she get injured? I forgot all about it.
She was taking papers to court or something, and she'd been up and she fell asleep at the wheel and hit a rock.
That's right. Thank you. But I noticed the first episode, there's almost no dialogue. It's like I'm like going, The way they shot, I go, why did I wait so long to start watching again? Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid show. Like Better Call Saul, it's one of those things that'll be talked about years later as a tragedy that it never won an Emmy, because it's up there with Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it should have won something. It should have won something.
Yeah, like the only season it's fairly weak is, I think it's the 5th or the 4th season. It's basically when I'm not going to tell you the season, but like a lot of it just takes place in the desert, and it's really good. But it's just one of those things where like, okay, get on with it. You know, like I get it, but get on with it.
I still need to watch that. I've never watched Better Call Saul.
It's good. It's good.
Again, I'm amazed they were able to do what they did with it, because I'm like going, okay, how is this going to be a TV show? But they go back. They go back.
He's not Saul. You know. Yeah.
Right.
The first couple seasons to me are the best, because I like the duel with him and his brother a lot. But it is good. Like I thought the ending of it was excellent. It's a solid show. I would never say don't watch that show.
Nice.
But yeah, so I go, God, why did it take so long to? Because I kept seeing it on Netflix. I go, I'll do it next time. Time.
What is up with this, by the way?
He's just
okay. I to be fair, I had several bananas in the tailpipe. A lot of them had like chocolate on them and other stuff. And I go, okay. I go, I don't want to go there. I go, but this, this kind of really says what I guess we're talking about. So that's why I went there with that.
Sorry, didn't mean to break up your.
And I also finished Upload season 3.
Okay.
Not as funny, but I did like how it started towards the end. It started picking up some steam.
Yeah. It definitely took a while to find its feet, for sure.
Yeah. I was just like going, okay. Again, I think it's because it took so long for it to come. I was like, okay, I forgot about that character. Oh, I forgot about this guy. So anyway, I did enjoy. I am waiting. Hopefully, it won't take as long for season 4.
Yeah, and then
I'm on season 8 of Suits now.
Oh, nice.
I almost started the other day. I clicked on it. I go 81 minutes. It's pretty late. I'll have to.
It's the pilot. Yeah, a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So I'm on season 8 of Suits, and I was getting a little bit depressed because it's the last season on Netflix, and I found out a couple people at work were also watching Suits, and they're like, dude, you realize there's another season? I'm like, what are you talking about? There's a season 9 that's not on Netflix. It's on a different network, like one of the streaming networks.
That's what took me so long to finish Better Call Saul, is because I had AMC. And then when I moved to this house, I cut the cord. I don't have cable, and I wasn't going to pay for AMC Plus, and so I had to wait like another additional year for it to finally come on. Yeah, and I was like, oh.
Well, Netflix only has 4 seasons, right?
8.
No.
Better Call Saul. I'm sorry.
Better Call Saul is 6 seasons.
Yeah,
I know, but do they have all 6 seasons?
Yeah, it's all 6 seasons now. But I'm saying up until like last year, it was only the first 5, and that was it. You had to wait.
I'm going to start Suits, but I said okay.
Yeah.
Well, I said Better Call Saul's 45 because I got to go to bed in a little bit. I said, so I'll watch Better Call Saul.
Yeah, but I'm excited because I've I did something, and I'm probably gonna financially regret it. But you know what? You only live once, so I said, fuck it.
You got married again?
No, I've got an Apple Vision Pro coming my way.
Oh yeah, you talked about that. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I bought one.
Now, what does that do? Is like a virtual reality
VR, yeah.
AR, VR. It's in spatial computing. It's kind of like Apple's like take on the whole thing. I'm super excited for it. It looks amazing.
It's like $2,500, right?
Allegedly,
$3,500. Wow.
Yeah, a little bit more. But of course, I don't pay full price. But still, yeah, still a shit ton of money. But like immersing yourself into the show,
it would have been cheaper to get. It's gonna be
pretty rad. It probably would have.
Let's be clear. Immersing yourself in the show. Okay.
Are you going to set up your own virtual reality world? Where
well, no, it's more designed for like what Matt is insinuating, porn, which could definitely do that.
I was imagining you milking a cow in virtual reality.
They did that in Upload season.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. And they spray milk at each other because it's that big fake cow.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that now.
Because they have the 3D machine that Chris has. That's how they make their food.
Yeah.
In the future, that that's what they do.
But either way,
what'd you think?
I'm super fucking pumped.
What'd you think about? I thought that was interesting when they went down to the basement, like the dev floor of the, and it's all like the glitchy like horror story.
The guy with the big eye, the guy with the big eyes.
Yeah. He had no eyelids, so it was just
that's what it was. That's what it
is. Upload on Prime.
It's on
Amazon Prime.
It is on Prime. Yeah, it is on Prime.
The first two seasons are hilarious.
The second season is really short, but the first season is really good. Second season's good. Third season, like I said, it's kind of just takes a while to find its feet, but it's still okay. But what I was saying about that one episode though is, all people in Upload, this one particular, they're all dead, but their consciousness has been uploaded to the computer, area,
which is cool.
His buddy though is like, hey, have you ever heard about the
Luke,
the
right?
Phantom? Luke, like the Phantom floor. That was like the original build of the computer, and so they find out how to get down to it. He gets down there, and it's like all the glitchy computer people. I mean, it's not like a great, but it's the one thing I remember from this.
It's an interesting concept because it's probably something that's going to happen in the future where you can upload your conscience and you can live on forever in the whatever. But
it's kind of like Black Mirror in that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
but but I keep forgetting that the guy that the star, his brother was Arrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I keep looking at him. I keep going. I go.
Robbie Amell.
Stephen
Amell.
I go, who is? I go, he looks like. I go, that's right. Jesus Christ, unit.
But Chris talking about VR though reminds me of one of Upload as well as Ready Player One. Is that we're going to get there to where we're just in full body suits, in like a weird eggshell thing where it's just like moving around.
I saw an article yesterday. Some former Disney Imagineer person invented or created these tiles that they're using for floors that allow people to move around in place, like in lieu of sitting down, so you could be in the virtual environment and actually like walk around.
All right,
looks freaking crazy.
Here's my question: if you could download into a virtual reality world and never, you just live on forever, would you do it?
Who says we're not?
Oh yeah, I think we're there already.
Whoa. Well, okay,
you're basically saying, can we, if we were in the Matrix,
in Matrix?
But you're asking, do we want to take the blue pill?
Yeah.
Or wait, no, is it the red?
Yeah, I was getting confused too.
I can't. Yeah.
But I'm saying, would you?
Well, clearly it's red because look,
I need to see the stipulations.
Right.
Could I go back and be younger? That's what I
think if you did that, you would get to choose.
I don't want to wake up in pain every day.
Don't you think that's what heaven is though? Like
that is
release of your body. So
okay, there's I got like a 50-50 chance of making it there. Okay, I got like a 50-50 chance. So it's like
I guess if that's what your God believes, but
I'm just saying, my God,
God said you're always welcome.
There's 10 commandments. Okay,
they got a pasture for you out back.
But you got to pass them all.
You're dead. You're dead.
Can't we grade? Can't we grade on a curve? Can we just like all the people I'm with? Can we say, okay, how many did they break? How many? So like, there's like we all like 50%. We can.
It is weird though. Like, I mean, the Upload concept, because you guys, if you ever watched the show, like in season 1 in particular, you can upload whenever you want. You're dead in the real world, but like, for example, one of the characters, she's just a side character. You see her every now and then. She was like 98 when she died, and the only photo that they wanted, or the avatar that she picked, was her when she was like 22, and it's a black and white picture, so her avatar is black and white, but it's just one of those things where if you think about it, like, what if you were 40 or 35 or 20 when you died and you're uploaded, and then you're like, damn, that's a hot looking woman over there, and she died at 98, and you're like, fuck, like I'm attracted to a 98-year-old woman.
Well,
they kind of hit on those things, you know.
It's the same as people that have had plastic surgery, right?
Right. Like
and
it's actually like that episode of Black Mirror,
Suits.
San Junipero.
I knew there was an episode.
Yeah, you
remember that one?
Yes.
It was like that. Okay, cool. But yeah,
I'm feeling you, man.
But you've had people with lawsuits where the
you have
it's cruel, but they have where they have kids and they go, wait a minute,
right?
This kid doesn't look, this kid. Okay, let's face it, this kid is ugly. Well, I had plastic surgery. I mean, it's just like anyway. Just say I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that is
so.
There's
also, and I think I've mentioned this on the show before. But there's a book that I listened to that led me into listening to like the whole series of these books called "We Are Legion, We Are Bob." And if you want to like listen to if you want to listen to or read on like a story that has to do with consciousness being uploaded and used in like science, like in space travel and stuff specifically, it's actually really fucking cool. It's a very, very cool story that like pretty much starts off in Comic-Con, like or that book's universe's version of Comic-Con. It's a really cool,
it's really
cool book. Yeah, super crowded.
Okay.
Yeah, like just speaking of like of a book series, a couple years ago, one of my favorite single season shows ever on HBO came out called Station 11. I know I hyped it up to you guys a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Station 11 was so good. And then I introduced it to an ex-coworker of mine that still lives in LA. And she, like, after a few episodes, she went back to LA and like just knocked out that. She's like, this is so good. She bought the book, read the book, and then she texted me the other day. She's like, did you know it's a series? And I was like, not really a series. Like Station 11 is a standalone book. But that author wrote 3 books that they all kind of somewhat are related.
Oh, really?
And so, because like Station 11 is more of a dystopian type book, whereas in the other one is called The Glass Hotel, which is more of a thriller mystery novel. And then the last one of the trilogy is called The Sea of Tranquility. And it's more about like a sci-fi moon-based type thing. And like, so they're all 3 different stories and different books, but they're all related. And she already read Sea of Tranquility, and then she found that out. She was like, now I get the hype. And so like now she's gonna read the middle book. But I was like, okay, so I already got them on my Amazon wish list. Like,
nice.
I almost started watching Travelers again.
Oh, that was a great show.
That was a great. It was recommended by Nick.
No,
Chris Nick.
Me.
But yeah, you recommended it, and I remember just going, "Oh, this is a great show." And I said, "Should I watch Travelers again?" Because I like watching shows I've seen before, but that I haven't seen them in a couple. I have like a rotation, and I said, "God, I haven't." I go, it'd be like watching, especially season 1. It'd be like all new, and it's just a fantastic show. So
yeah, very cool.
I on the note of what Matt Treese was talking about in the comments here.
Hi, Bob.
I can't remember if I'd just finished Peep Show last time I was on
no, I think you were talking about
you hadn't finished it. No.
Oh, okay. Well, I finished Peep Show, and then I also rewatched IT Crowd all the way through.
Nice.
And then I was watching Coupling. So
nice. Where are you at Coupling?
I'm in the 4th season, so there is the character change. Yeah. At first, I was like, "Oh, wait, what's happening?"
Total miss. Like, no one likes Oliver.
Yeah, I can see why.
Oliver. Never before has a boy wanted more.
But a very unique show. To say that it's like, I mean, I see how it is kind of like Friends, but it is a lot more racy.
It's way different,
a lot more
sex.
There's
I
two.
mean,
that's what it's about.
Kind of.
Sex,
I mean, it's a lot more about sex than
I just remember you saying that
last
week.
And that's what's funny about it is that if that show was released today in America, it would be very tame. But 20 years ago, that's why it failed. It failed in the U.S. because so much backlash about how much it was about sex. Because they only made 1 episode of Coupling for the U.S. And that's why, Matt, I don't know if you got to that episode. Yeah, I think it's in season 4 at the very beginning, I think, of season 4, where he's on the phone. He goes, I repeat, this is not an American sitcom.
Yes.
Like, and that's why he says that. It's because it's a nice little fuck you to the States,
Yeah, no,
I
America.
I thought that was really
your
funny.
goddamn two choices for president.
I do, I do like the characters though in the show coupling, and worth a watch for anybody that likes sitcoms that are kind of like rom-coms, and you don't mind a little bit more of that European
humor.
Batman's
Sorry,
coming to get him.
Well, yeah, I think
he's looking out for me. Hauser's
paranoid.
You never looked more like Snowden ever. Right?
Snipers on the roof.
Hey, that old man with the lawnmower's coming for me.
Malarkey.
It's one of my kids that's up. So,
well, I'm finally gonna sign up for Apple TV again so I can watch For All Mankind. But you have the Air series.
That's coming out tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night.
So I'll be signing up for that.
So this season of For All Mankind is probably the weakest, I would say, of the four, which is still pretty high. Like, I mean, because most of the first three seasons to me are 9s out of 10. This is probably like an 8.
Have some of the characters died off because they're getting up there in age?
No, this season, I mean, there's only like 2 of them left, or 3 of the original cast left. There is one death, but it's not of a main character. And
what about the hot wife?
It's good. Like, which hot wife?
Well, I one of them died, but the hot wife of they got divorced. She had an affair with the kid.
She died last season.
Did she die last season?
Yeah.
She died at the end of last season.
I was like, oh, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah. That was like that's Chris's girl.
That's right with the explosion.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot all about that.
So the only ones left are Poole, the first black astronaut woman.
Oh, hold on. I have not started the season yet.
I mean, in this season.
Okay.
Yeah, in the season. So you have Poole, you have Ed, and you have the redhead. That was the head of NASA.
Oh, okay. That was of
the original cast. Like those are the only ones.
I forgot she died. All right. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Masters of the Air. Sherry posted. It's Masters of the Air. So I got to watch that. I'm thinking about watching the what's the show with Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Steve Carell.
Oh yeah, good
morning show.
Morning show. Cindy watches it, but I said, oh, maybe I'll watch it. And
there's a new season out for that too, I think.
Yeah, once you get Apple again, I'll have to make a list for you. There's some really good stuff on Apple.
I'm waiting
there's
for
not many misses on that.
I'm waiting for what's that space movie we always watch? You and me, Nick. 3
Star Wars.
Right Stuff.
Not that
Right
again.
Stuff. They had season 1 of the Right Stuff.
Have you heard of it?
I never watched it.
I
never watched it.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah. And then Matt, going back to coupling just for a second. So I think it's the 3rd episode of 4th season. I think it's 3rd or 4th. It's the one where basically, God, I can't believe I'm forgetting her name.
I'm right somewhere there in the middle of.
Yeah, it's where they're playing chess. It's like actually called the game of coupling. That's a really good episode.
Yeah, great episode.
No, it's a good
Rain Man.
I seriously I think one of
time for Wapner, Judge Wapner.
So yeah.
I
get my underwear from Kmart.
Yeah. That's another movie
Thanks.
I should watch.
Thank you. You guys are very fucking helpful. So nothing. It doesn't. I'll take myself.
I really think Matt is Snowden at this moment. He's all black background. He's in a bunker somewhere, and he's looking. He's expecting the bunker buster to come in at any second.
Is Snowden still? Is he still in Russia? Snowden?
Yeah. Him and the other guy. Assad.
This is my last episode.
I thought Julius
I'm shedding that avatar.
I thought he got. I
am really Snowden, guys.
I thought he got arrested. The whole time. Did he not
they're both. Yeah, they're both pending.
Well, I thought he was already. I thought Assad was already in.
Don't even live in Franklin, Indiana.
We know, man. He moved to Iowa so his voice could be heard.
No, this is. What? Iowa. Oh, I got it because of the.
There you go.
That was a good one, Nick. That was a good one.
Nice
Sometimes.
You maybe they're gonna.
Right. Yeah. Jack's freezing up again.
See, his voice can be heard.
He looks like he's gonna sneeze.
Am I back?
Hey, there he is.
You're back.
Snap right back into it.
Still a little blurry.
Snapping back.
Yeah.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Oh,
Slim Jim.
While we're still fairly on TV, I did finish season 1 of True Detective. That's a solid fucking first season.
That's an excellent show. Excellent season.
Yeah. Well, I never watched it, and I should have, because by the time I got around to it, I knew season 2 came out, and season 2 I heard sucked.
All right.
But yeah, season 1 was pretty. The only thing I had complained about season 1 of True Detective was that it was the ending was too close to Silence of the Lambs. But yeah,
well, the problem with True Detective is I like the following season. Most people don't, but when you compare it to season 1, you can't do that because you're not going to enjoy it. Season 2, I like season 2. I thought it was, and season 3 I thought was really good also. But I was planning on skipping. You can't compare it. You can't compare it to season 1 because season 1 is some of the best television ever made.
Well, it's really good writing with really great acting, and
great acting. It's
lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, it was so well done. I mean, you're like going, "Oh my god, this is just." Matthew McConaughey.
Did I ever send you guys that thing where it was talking about how they've never tested it, but like Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson could be like half brothers?
Really?
Yeah. So it said basically Woody Harrelson's father was an assassin, a murderer.
Murderer.
And he said he was also a womanizer, and he said that if you do, and he actually had sex with Matthew McConaughey's mother in 1969. If you do the math of when they met and had sex, it is very highly likely that Woody Harrelson's father is Matthew McConaughey's dad.
They both like pot.
Yeah.
No way.
All right. No, they really do. They do like smoking pot. It's
no.
Jeez. Woo. It's like,
I'm joking.
So Sherry, isn't that Sherry? Yeah.
Yeah, Sherry.
Yeah. Like I said, that's what I was talking about earlier. Is I'm starting Fargo, so I'm halfway through season 2. I will get to the latest season, when I get there. I'll keep.
Which season is with Chris Rock? Is that season 4?
That's 4. Yeah, and that's the weakest review.
I've only watched 2 episodes. I couldn't keep going with that one.
That's because seasons 1 through 3 all have like 96 ratings, where season 4 is like 68. They said 4 is definitely the weakest, whereas in the current one is really highly ranked.
I've seen people on Twitter, they say you should watch it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I will when I have a chance. That's all I gotta say about that.
I know that Chris right now is doing his research so heavily right now on Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson being really.
That's blowing me away.
Yeah.
What is Snowden doing here?
He's ratting out Chris because he was thinking the exact same thing I was thinking. Of like, look at Chris's intensity on his face doing this research.
that blew me away. That's incredible news. I've never knew that. So do you think like if they were ever at like a Hollywood party, like
you're still
Woody
stuck
Harrelson,
on the
would you just be like, dude, my dad totally banged your mom?
Oh, I would.
So you're saying they can't marry you.
And he's just like, all right.
Hey man,
why wouldn't they actually just do the DNA test?
It might be because they're both hippies. I think they don't care. I think they really just enjoy each other's company and friendship, and it probably doesn't matter to them. I mean, I'd definitely be curious. Oh man, it's trippy, man. Yeah, but who knows?
This is what happens when you don't follow us live.
And probably because
that's actually pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah. And I bet Matthew McConaughey, being the kind of Southerner he is, he was raised by this other man who he claims is his dad, and that's who they say is his dad. So he probably, to him, it's like, no, this is my dad. I don't care if Woody Harrelson's dad is my dad or not. It's like, this is my dad, so I don't care. But who knows?
Well, they get along like brother, and what their chemistry on True Detectives is, that's what makes it work. Is their chemistry is perfect
because they're brothers.
brother.
That was the only thing that slightly bothered me about season 1 as well, is that no one would fucking cheat on Michelle Monaghan,
Monahan,
because she's a fucking smoke show, and there's no way. It's like, even though, granted, the two ladies that Woody Harrelson,
Matt's gummy kick in like 5 minutes ago. Is that what we're experiencing?
Matt is on LSD. What the fuck is going on?
What? Just don't show your porn tab, dude.
He's gone off the deep edge. No, Woody Harrelson, but he's a flawed character.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they all were.
Yeah. I can't concentrate because Matt's fucking me up with this moving thing.
This is why you join us live, people. It's because
you join us live.
You get to see which one of us on every week. You get to see which one of us is gone a little too far.
A little too far with the gummies.
All right, guys, I'll turn it off. You guys
it's great. I think I'm hypnotized.
Dude, that looks like Memento.
Right?
Oh, yeah. And
I like to mess around.
You know what I like to mess around with, dude? Is fucking
taking
commercial breaks.
Yeah, me too.
Commercial break.
Wait, we don't have to take another one.
Sometimes I take 2 just in case.
Yeah, we took one 30 minutes ago.
Well, we'll take them every 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Oh.
All right, fine.
You know what the odds of any of us are actually remembering a kosher break twice in one episode are? I mean, no.
Let's take a commercial break that we have to take every half hour.
Fine.
Well, I think he was preparing us for the next step of
this is exactly why
what happens is you hypnotize with all the shit you were doing.
The producer of the show.
I think you should be.
We being the producer of the show is much like being the president of the United States.
It's funny because I was on my
to do it.
I was on my riding mower,
and the one person left in charge.
And Matt Treese is over here in Maine being like, I don't have a fucking voice.
Pretty much.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm on my riding mower, just driving all over the neighborhood. Yeah. And people are like, why are you mowing my lawn?
Malarkey.
It's like a little baby.
What's the nuclear codes?
Meanwhile, John, the retired guy,
combination of my luggage.
He's probably got like some splinter faction group that's trying to get Nick put in charge.
You know what? Like, it doesn't take that much to get someone.
It's
in
called
charge.
NAGA.
I will relinquish control.
Nick, no, yeah, the NAGA.
NAGA.
Not gonna produce anymore.
Not gonna produce. Yeah, exactly.
There's somebody out there that's just like, no, but the guy that's on psychedelics in charge. And Chris and I are like, who?
Well, I think right now it's you.
Whoa, that's cool, Matt.
Whoa,
how did you do that?
I've got a thing back here.
Oh, and you stuck it on the screen.
Okay. I was like,
I thought it was a total effect.
It's actually physically there.
Yeah, I thought it was I thought it was a camera trick. Like you just like took a pic, and like I'm gonna stick it there.
How the fuck do you do that?
Floating in space now.
I can't do that. See, it's my hand hitting the screen.
That was funny.
That was great.
Oh man, this is why you join us live. Is just
I am going to have the Glatfelder boys for 9 straight days.
Wow.
Why?
Because the parents are going to Europe.
Oh,
9 times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And on the 9th day, you're going to play them.
Now, are they going like on a solo tour, or are they doing like a tour like we're on a bus?
Solo died, man.
They're going up with died. They're going with Colleen's sister. They're taking a train through Europe through different things, places, which is fine. I did because Zach is really into the Titanic. Yeah, he knows a lot about the Titanic. He built the. Stop it, Matt! Stop it! You're freaking me out.
It would have been really cool if I could have pulled that.
It just was stuck too, yeah.
But I said, hey, if you really want to watch a movie about shipwrecks, let's watch Poseidon Adventure. Now he's 9. Have you guys seen the Poseidon Adventure?
Seen both of them. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Well, not
the remake.
The second one with the fake Matthew McConaughey actor.
Wasn't Kirk Douglas in both of them?
No, Kirk Douglas is in the second
one.
Okay, that's the one that I.
And you had the fake Matthew McConaughey. He looks like Matthew McConaughey. I always call him the fake Matthew McConaughey. But
once, I think.
Should a 9-year-old watch?
Yeah, it's pretty tame. I mean,
I said he goes, what's it about? I go, well, it's a ship that has a 90-foot tidal wave that flips the boat over, and people have to escape. So Jay said, I guess it's okay. I go, he watches all the Titanic. More people died on the Titanic than they did on
9/11.
Yeah.
Josh Lucas. Yes, that's the fake Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt Treese.
Yeah. Heck, I mean, if we're going to go with old films, make them watch Sink the Bismarck or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, no.
Casablanca.
You got,
make them really suffer.
But no,
Casablanca is a great film. What are you talking about?
No, it is. It's great, but like for
a kid,
age,
yeah,
I mean, like watching a black and white movie.
Yeah, I just don't think so. But
yeah,
Poseidon Adventure. So, Chris, you probably haven't seen it, have you?
I'm being serious.
I've seen parts of it.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know by today's standards if that could hold his attention. You know.
Well, I'm gonna try because Cindy goes, "Did anyone die?" I go, "Linda, my Linda, my Linda, you killed my Linda."
God, he was so old for her.
What about Castaway? That's a good
Well, he's trying to think about boat films.
I don't.
Yeah, Castaway. He's on a boat.
The Perfect Storm.
He's on a Perfect Storm. Yeah, Perfect Storm would be.
Well,
he gets rescued by a boat though. Boom.
Oh, you mean a raft? He was on a raft. I got you.
Yeah,
okay.
But he lost his best friend.
Did you ever? If you ever watch an episode, there's lots of good episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but there's one in particular that's really good where Danny DeVito has a tradition and he calls it the rum ham. And what he does is he takes a whole ham and soaks it in rum. And then he just continues to eat it throughout the entire episode to where he's just fucking hammered off of this. And that's the payoff at the very end is that somehow he ends up, in the Delaware River or whatever, the one that comes out of Philadelphia. And he's just out there like Wilson, and the ham gets away from him and it's just floating. And he's like, I'm sorry. It's so good.
Well,
that's the longest running TV series in history now.
Well, that's crazy too because you said Danny DeVito, and it's like at one point in time you'd think Taxi,
15 or 16 seasons.
But
that's not the longest running.
Now
maybe
it's
sitcom.
No, that's the show that you associate with.
No, because you got SVU is like on its 25th
Thank
season.
you.
They were not listening to you, Matt.
I just want to be seen.
I heard every word Matt said.
I just want to be seen.
I didn't hear Matt because
move to Maine or Iowa.
I didn't hear Matt because his vote doesn't matter.
Look at me! Look at me!
Look at me! Look at me!
What did you say, Matt?
I gave you evidence of government corruption, and you still ignore me.
What did you say, Matt? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said at one point in time you'd think Danny DeVito, you'd associate him with Taxi as the TV show, but now it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Can I be honest?
There's a number of things.
I still think of him as in Taxi.
Yeah, it's like the first time he actually leaves the booth, because a lot of people did not know he was that short of a guy.
Yeah,
and because aside from One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest, he really wasn't in anything.
People are going
Romancing the Stone. That's right.
Yeah, but that's like
my
80,
recollection.
That's
my first.
Hey, Chris, have you seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yes.
Really? Wow. Okay, I'm shocked.
I think
I saw Taxi a lot when I was a kid. I don't know. It was something. Barney Miller, Taxi.
My dad loved Barney Miller.
Barney Miller.
Barney
it's got one of the best bass lines.
Yeah, there's a funny clip that came on my Instagram or Facebook feed the other day of Taxi where Christopher Lloyd sitting behind the two people, arguing, and she's like, "Tell me, how far is it to Brazil?" And then he just goes, "It's 4,361 miles." Like, they just look at him, and they kind of ignore him, and then they go, "Well, how much money would it take in Brazil?" And he's like, "The annual budget of Brazil for the taxi service is," and then they go, "How do you know this?" He goes, "I was right." Just making up shit.
The driver's test.
Oh yeah, that's the classic.
Yes.
What do you do? I like there's an episode where he gets addicted to Pac-Man. And he goes, what's his name? Vito goes, oh, it's payday. It's payday. And he's giving out checks, and he gives Jim a bag of quarters because it's his machine.
It's awesome.
I can't remember what there's a documentary series that came out a couple years ago. I never knew the difference between Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man until I watched that.
Well, one's a woman.
Oh, wow.
No, it's because there's Pac-Man, and then all the illegal additions to Pac-Man. You know, there was a whole, you know, they made more levels for it, like a bunch of people. And so they bought that addition and they called it Miss Pac-Man. So it's Pac-Man with all the additional stuff. I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was something they do to make more money.
No, I thought the same thing. It's kind of like, you know, Wayne's World. It's like, you know, what's the difference between Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man really? He's like, well, she has a bow in her. It's no dick. You know, but like,
well, she's not like the Bugs Bunny when she's dressed as a woman. She's hot.
Yeah.
Dude, the video game industry in the 80s must have been fucking crazy.
Oh,
like
that movie
the Wild
Tetris
Wild West.
That movie Tetris is on Apple TV. That's
that was good. Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, and then Blackbird.
Really, really good.
Blackbird's good. It's like a 1-season thing. That was good. There's a lot. Like I said,
the Michael Jackson documentary.
Nope.
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
Oh, yeah.
I knew what you meant.
Thank you.
At some point we'll get it together.
Yeah.
It's called
Don't you know why? I was walking.
I don't see Michael Jackson. Well, maybe he could dance. Like I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead.
I was grocery store. That's where I hear all the most random shit, you know. And they were playing.
Yeah, I went to the grocery store today. And I was listening to like the music that was playing at the grocery store was like 90s rock, and I was like, "This is what I listened to when I was in high school."
Right.
Fuck.
Oh, I'm so
fuck.
old.
I am my parents now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always say I'm only here for the music.
Well, that's what
like Target will have the. I go, and so he goes, "Will you stop? You're embarrassing me." I go, "Oh, I am."
It's like
Should have told me that.
It's like someone posted
because I can't dance to save my life. Go ahead.
So I'll make Chris and Matt feel really fucking old right now too. Like someone, it was definitely a kid. It was definitely a kid, and they put like, I've been listening to this old song called Californication, and it totally predicts the future. And they're breaking down the lyrics about, you know, I was like, shut the fuck up. You know, it's like, yeah, it's 25 fucking years old. I'm like, holy shit.
That's wild.
You know, Neil Simon's Sweet Caroline is 55 years old.
Neil Simon?
Not
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond, I'm sorry.
Again, I knew.
Yeah.
I knew.
We've
been podcasting that long together.
It's an odd couple thing. So, you know.
Speaking of odd couples, if you were to take a bunch of different musicians and put them together in a band,
I forgot all about that shit.
you're like,
which one we choose? We're gonna choose drummers or bass players tonight.
Drummers. We gotta start with drummers.
Okay.
Start with drummers.
I said to be fair, we should, if anyone who goes first today, it should rotate. The next person who's ever second goes first the next week. And
yeah, that makes sense.
What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so to explain this to the listeners, what we're doing is we're gonna make it kind of like a super group.
Sweet Caroline.
Each week we're gonna be doing a versus where we pick our drummer that would be for our super band, let's say. And if one of us gets to that drummer, then we got to pick another drummer.
Are we doing drummers or bass player?
We're gonna do drummers tonight.
Drummers, because they keep the beat, they keep the whole thing together.
I can think of 3 off the top of my head. So.
Right. So
can it be from a movie?
Sure.
Whatever you want.
Whoever you want it to be. If you want it to be the monkey, or
no, I was thinking the guy from That Thing You Do.
Shades.
Oh,
Shades.
Okay. I was thinking you were like the ape at the beginning of 2001 Space Odyssey, and he's using the bone.
Yeah, that's too intense.
I don't know. I was trying to reach for something.
I haven't seen that movie I should watch that movie. I haven't seen that movie in like
you watch that
years.
movie all the time. You talking about That Thing You Do?
No, 2001.
Oh,
that
all
thing
right.
you want. I've seen all.
Here's the dice.
All right.
Who's going to go first?
The person that gets to roll first.
Well, but we have to decide who's going to be the
Nick.
first.
You're first.
Well, look at you taking control.
11.
That's an 11 for Nick.
This goes to 11.
That's nice. That's a good omen for you. Jack.
The bigger the cushion.
No, that's a 10.
Is it a 10?
It's
A 10. Okay.
10.
all right.
That's one less than.
Big bottom.
I'll go
This
next.
one goes up to 10.
This is for
one
me.
goes up. Yeah.
Sweet Caroline.
Well, that's the worst one of them all. I have a 1.
Huh? How did that work out?
That's
I
the
like them
worst.
apples.
And then Matt.
Come on, 20.
Ooh, another 1. How's that? What are the chances of that?
This fucking dice is rigged. It's all bullshit. Okay, so we have to have a die off.
All right,
for the
I'm gonna
last
go first.
place. Okay.
7.
So okay, I want you to pick up that dice and just roll it around in your hand. Just really get
Roll it.
Mind the stepchildren.
If you want to blow on it, you can.
You got a 12.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
All right. So it's gonna go.
Matt, me.
No, I
No.
was in last place. I
Okay. I
rolled
missed
the rest.
it.
It goes Nick, Jack, Matt, me.
Okay.
Nick, Jack, Matt, and who's me?
And then next week we just have to remember this order.
That Nick would go last.
I would
go third.
Correct. Boom. I'll go
Matt
second.
would go second, and Chris would go first.
I won't be here next
Excellent.
week, though.
Oh, you won't be here next week.
Oh.
Sorry, you lose.
Mm.
Yeah.
We'll make the pick for you.
I'm sure Jay will fill in for you. And
Oh, Jay might. I mean, depends on his level of hate for me at the moment. He could pick a good bass player, or he could just go, "Fuck this guy. He's not."
Are you okay with Jay making your pick?
Yeah, that's fine for a bass player. Sure.
Okay.
all right. I just figured
notice how
we'd
he
wait.
only guest
I just
stars
figured
on
we'd
episodes that I'm not here. I'm just saying he
It
really
is.
joins.
It's
Oh
weird.
no, he's going to be in Europe.
That's right. he'll be in
Oh yeah,
Europe,
because you got that night.
Hey,
All right,
you know what?
we'll just wait.
You know what?
till
I'll make your pick for you, Nick.
I almost hate going first because, like I said, like all three of the people that pop into my mind, I would be happy to have any of these guys as my drummer.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with John Bonham because he's probably my favorite drummer. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. Like, I mean, there's so many within Led Zeppelin, just opening drum kicks, opening drums. It's just like, yeah, you know. I mean, when the levee breaks, always comes to mind. Where it's just like you just know it.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with it.
Anyway, that's my pick for my. If I'm going with a drummer, I'm going with John Bonham.
Wow, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Neil Peart from Rush.
You fucker!
Rush, I love Rush, and it's a 3-man band, and I just love Neil Peart, and he just passed away recently, so let's give him a shout out. I gotta go with Neil Peart from Rush. I'm a big Rush fan, so there we go.
All right.
Oh, did you want him, Chris? All right,
I did.
Okay.
Well,
Buddy Rich is still out there.
yeah, sure. I'm going with another British drummer who
Don't
set
do
the
it.
stage
Don't fucking do it.
ablaze.
Come on.
And almost kind of really right there with John Bonham. I got to go with Keith Moon.
Nice.
On the Who.
All right.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good pick.
That was one of mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who did you think I was going to go for? Who you're going to pick?
My
next?
pick.
I thought you were going to Ringo Starr.
Another British drummer.
My pick is
Across the pool.
This one might be a little bit more like a preference than a shoe in, but I'm gonna go with Stuart Copeland.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you were going to go Ringo Starr.
I thought you were going to Buddy Rich.
No, I'm gonna go with Stuart Copeland. He's the hi-hat Stuart Copeland.
That's not a bad choice.
Stuart Copeland, he's good. I mean, Police survived with just 3 people. So the drums
I wasn't
a
a big fan of the Police. I'm just,
Synchronicity is a phenomenal album.
Blah blah blah.
Yes.
When my sister saw them live when they got back together, like 5-6 years ago, and did a tour, maybe 10 years ago, I remember. But when you're a casual Police fan and all you know is Sting stuff, and then the other guys play their songs, you're like, what the fuck is this? I remember her text me going like, I don't know any of these other guys. I'm like, yeah.
I was just never a big fan of the Police. I know I grew up in that era, but it was like,
All right, we could have definitely chosen so many, and I know people are going to be like, "Why didn't you choose Ringo Starr?"
Wait, can I ask a question? Are we putting up we're putting up the vote for the best drummer this week?
Yeah, we're gonna put it up. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. I'll do that. Yeah. So I'll put Ramblecast fantasy drummer.
It's kind of like fantasy football, but fantasy baseball or
fantasy
whatever.
band.
Fantasy band.
I want to keep track of each of our bands though, just so we can see what each of our super bands would be. So, okay. So Nick, who did you have?
John Bonham.
That's spelled Keith Moon.
I
can't argue with any of these picks.
Jack.
No.
Neil Peart.
People are going to be like, why didn't you pick Dave Grohl? Why didn't you pick Ginger Baker? You know, why didn't you pick
I don't think a lot of people even know who Ginger Baker is.
Why don't you take Buddy Rich, who was always on the Tonight Show?
Why did you pick Phil Collins? Right? Yeah, Phil Collins. To
be honest with you, I thought about Phil Collins.
I mean, really?
As long as you don't pick Don Henley. I don't think Don Henley's a good drummer. I think, he had a good voice and he was a capable drummer. I don't think he was a great drummer.
Matt, parents
go ahead. Go ahead. No, read Matt.
Matt Treese, my parents saw the Police during the synchronicity tour while my mom was pregnant with me. The opening act was thought to have sucked and was going nowhere. Nice. The band was REM. What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd rather see REM than the Police. There, I said it.
REM was a solid decade of just fucking awesome.
Yes. Treese was born into the music.
But you know what sucks is Matt Treese is saying his mom was pregnant when I was alive and I was old then.
You were 20 on that tour.
John, the retired guy, says that's still old. I saw the Police at the Day of the Green. No, Day. I saw the Police at Day on the Green in 1983. Phenomenal show.
Nice.
I think you meant to say Green Day.
I've got a couple of votes already. I'm just saying.
Maybe. You don't know.
How would you know? You're not on Facebook.
Well,
true. You guys could tell me I lost. And I don't even know if I won. I wouldn't even know.
If you're not on Facebook, you could still email in your vote and we'll add it to the whole total.
Yeah, so you can
email us.
No double voting though.
No double voting.
You know what? If you're voting for me,
we can see you voted.
If you're a big Rush fan, you can double vote.
So Randy,
nobody cares.
Come on, don't just because you're the one that emails us.
Is Randy here today?
I didn't.
No, he's probably already asleep.
So he was asleep before we started?
I don't know. He fell asleep on the last show, but we love you, Randy, and thank you for joining us.
Randy's the best.
Yeah.
For the other people that join us in the chat, but Randy.
But anybody else that wants to email us, you could do so at rcadcast@gmail.com. Not that this is the end of the show, but just in case you want to get your vote in.
Well, there's got to be a time for another commercial in there. Commercial break.
It's a nice one, man.
Oh, thanks. I was gonna post it up on the board over here, but I didn't want to.
Are we going to record next week and we'll just see if Jay wants? Well, Jay can't do it.
So Jay can't do it.
Yeah,
we'll just be like Rush.
We could just do the three of us. I mean, so
it's not like Nick contributes anyway, right?
Well, I mean, we could just.
I do take notes when Nick's not
here.
You
do, and I appreciate that.
I kind of wonder. Like
wonder.
I used to, especially when I originally started taking notes. I used to take really good notes. Now it's just like a bullet point. Like we talked about this.
Well, it's like me. I can't even remember when we said we were going to record. I go. Luckily, Nick answered me. No one else did.
No, but I think Matt gave a thumbs up. Or
did he? Yeah, I did. That was like you were like sound.
Randy, not in the chat. Jackson Glaffeler says.
Okay. Well,
again, I don't know.
There you go.
Since no one picked Ringo, though, I always think of I forget what year. I want to say it was like 81 or like late 70s. It was an interview with George Harrison, and they were actually asking George about drummers, and they said, "What about Ringo? Would you put Ringo as one of the best drummers of all time?" And George, being very George, was like, he's very good. He goes, but he doesn't practice. And he's like, he could be great. He goes, but he just can listen to a song and just hears what it needs and just does it. He goes, and that's really a compliment in its own right. But it was one of those things where he was saying, like, because Ringo doesn't actually try. He just like, he just fucking does it.
If he would fucking practice, he'd be better.
Ever.
I almost went with Pete Best, but
yeah,
I figured, well, I might not get any votes.
Saw Pete Best. So.
Pete Best, I'm so close to being a billionaire. I'm so close to being a billionaire, but shit, I got kicked out of the band. I
like how they say sawed off.
Like, again, if I'm Pete Best, I don't know if I could cope with living anymore. Is he still alive?
Yeah, I think. Is he? Okay,
we should have him on the show.
Sure. Like I said, a few years back, though. Like I said, a few years back, he had the longest payday in history, in that he just lived a regular life, and then when the anthologies came out, he got like millions because he's on.
Yeah, okay, that's great, but you're still not one.
He's
of the
82. He's still alive.
Nice.
So
I gotta see if I can get Pete Best in the show. I would.
And the picture, honestly, the picture that they have on Wikipedia. It was when it says best performing in 2006. I think that's when he was on tour when I saw.
All right, should I try and get Pete Best on the show?
You're gonna be like
good luck.
You're gonna be like Lorne Michaels and be like, we're willing to pay you $30 to be on the Ramblecast.
Because we never got what's his name.
Why are you so obsessed with what's his name? Why are we not good enough?
Ringo should be the first guest. Yes.
I would love to get Ringo Starr on the show, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, he's 80. He'll be 84.
Can we get his wife? Can we get Barbara Bach on the show?
What would you talk about with Barbara Bach, Jack?
When you were do you remember when you were in Caveman?
That was awesome.
Do you remember?
And you were barely wearing anything.
You remember in Spider Love Me when you were like naked for like half a second?
Yeah, remember when you were really hot? And it's just like, okay, I was in my teens.
What was when you had to say and run away?
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I don't know, but what's his name? I keep forgetting about his name. Grieco, Richard. Why can't we never got Richard Grieco?
Stuart Sutcliffe. He also died.
We did get a shout out though from Richard Grieco.
We did. That was from JP, right?
JP, yeah, did it.
Who sent us a picture?
I just can't imagine. I
still have the
any of us. I just can't imagine any of us walking up to a random Comic-Con event and been like, "Hey, how much will it take for you to leave a voice message to these 4 assholes you never met who constantly bust your balls?" I'm sure exactly didn't say that, but
I can't find the Richard Grieco picture, but I have it somewhere here framed.
I don't understand. I mean, I would have it right here next to my shoulder where everyone.
Again, you're right. I should have.
I would have it right up there. Mm-hmm. Jack's artwork for this week, guys. What do you guys think about it?
It's not his best.
It's not his best. I mean, he had something and he didn't even know it last week with the woman with the wig and the banana walking back being like, This week is kind of like the follow-up where he's like, guys, you like bananas? Well, guess what? There's 3 of them. Yeah.
Well, you got the Fonz banana on the left.
Oh shit, he can hear us? He can hear us the whole time? Yeah. Shit, I thought we could just talk about it. This is what I would imagine either president coming up with, like, their campaign, like if they'd had no.
I did find the toilet paper I bought during the pandemic.
Oh well,
they're like little tiny. It's all you could find. It's all you could find at the time with these little tiny rolls. I thought I'd save it for.
They look like marshmallows.
Does it have an expiration date?
No,
it's called cha-ching toilet paper. I'm not making this up.
It's bamboo toilet paper.
It's made with pig.
Cha-ching toilet paper. It's just a straight fuck you right to your face and your ass.
Get in the car. I'm a banana.
Chris and I never had to worry about that because we have bidets.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I was worried about the water being shut off. Speaking of water, you see what happened to San Diego?
I did, man. That's crazy. Yeah.
Holy.
I did not.
2.5 inches of
It's
rain
flooded,
in like 30 minutes. But then people are pissed because the city of San Diego never cleared any of the storm drains.
Oh,
I guess there was like trees growing in the storm drains.
Oh wow.
Old wheelchairs blocking the way, shopping carts, and so people are pissed at the mayor because he goes, "Well, we didn't want to hurt the environment." Well, the fucking environment got washed away because people lost everything because of the floods.
Sorry, Matt, was stealing your thunder there for a second.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing my own thing, man. Leave me alone. Walking my
in case
own.
you take a shit during the storm. I'm not even opening it.
You gotta save it like a time capsule of ass paper.
Ass paper.
Ass paper. How does it feel so good?
I saw it the other day.
You do really though when you think about like how spoiled we are in today's world when toilet paper really wasn't. It's only been around for what, like 100 years or 120 years, and you're like, the fuck, man. Like you just
Can you
walk
imagine
around,
the shell industry?
Yeah,
We hadn't got.
does know how to use the three
stones, seashells, seashells.
Yeah. Like just crusty ass, for like days.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Watch your mouth.
John
This is a
says-
family program, Chris.
John says, so you're saying you don't use paper after
No, you
after
do.
the bidet?
You do. Yeah, the bidet. Yeah, you have to.
Little pat.
Well, fuck, I lost Richard Grieco. I apologize. I don't know what the fuck he
I
went.
forgot what you were looking for.
I was Richard Grieco. I can't find him.
I just remembered this now.
I
All
just
right,
saw
John.
him the other day, and I'm like going, fuck, I got Richard Grieco still.
So John, the retired guy. So the whole purpose of a bidet is because a lot of times, depending on what you're eating that week or whatever, you can use too much toilet paper to where you can get hemorrhoids or bleeding or whatever, especially as you get older. Whereas in the bidet, you're washing everything off. It's great, and then you only need like a couple of times just to kind of clean up, and then you're good, and it's much more healthier for you.
No.
Oh yeah.
And we have one of those fancy heated seat bidets.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the wife wanted to upgrade what we had, and it has it controls the temperature of what hits your hiney.
Wow.
And it is amazing. Yeah.
Can't find him.
So but that's a bit of a pain in the ass for the install, isn't it? Because you have to kind of like tap into the hot water.
No pun intended.
Well,
no pun intended.
Either you use the hot water that comes off of like a like another, like either you tap
sink
into your hot water or you have an electric thing that
a heater
kind of like
attached to it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's here. I'll change my thing back. Sorry.
Don't want to have like electrocute your asshole.
No. So there's electricity involved and all of that good shit. But good stuff.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen.
It's got a little fan too. It like cools it down there too. It's like it
dries it.
Dries it. Yeah.
Wow. That's actually
like
pretty impressive.
everything. Like we're one step away from having a Japanese toilet. I'm serious.
That's what I was about to say. It was a Japanese toilet. Yeah, like
sing me a song.
I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you've seen that meme where it's like the
down
world's biggest crime is that Japan has the world's best toilets, but no Mexican food. And
that's hilarious.
Hey, there it is.
Wow, he found it.
Yeah. The God is here, Richard Grieco.
Christ,
that's so glad that you.
I don't know
it too.
It was right out in the middle. It was right out in the open the whole time, but I just couldn't find the Greek.
Assumed it was in the bathroom, right above the toilet.
You should hang that on your ceiling above your bed.
He's got dust. He's got dust all over him.
That's not dust.
To the Married Man. To the Married Man podcast, Richard Grieco.
Ah.
Should I mail this to everyone? And everyone gets like get to hold
no,
it for a while?
No, you can hold on to it.
You sure?
The way that your green screen is affecting it makes it look like a hologram. And
it's
it
does. Yeah.
Special limited edition hologram.
Yeah.
Again, we need to get a big name. Maybe we can get a guest. Well, I don't want to do it when Nick's not here.
Yeah.
But we need a big name guest on this show, don't we?
I mean, the only person we could get is probably Jose Garcia or somebody.
I think you
Jorge,
have some
Who's
kind
Jose
of
Garcia?
fixation on.
I said Jose didn't. I'm sorry. Jorge.
He's not coming on now.
Fuck.
Nope.
Yeah. Pissed him off.
Fuck it.
I think you, Jack, have more of a fixation on getting a celebrity on the show.
I'm just saying for the rating. I'm saying for the rating.
All right. So what, Jack?
Well, I guess if someone's concerned about the ratings, then sure.
What if, Jack? What if Chris, Matt, and I chipped in and we got Dean Spanos?
Oh, yep. Sign me up.
Dean Spanos.
I would literally. I think Dean would probably piss his pants and cry for what I would say to him.
But that would be the stipulation, is that you have to be the sweetest person in the world.
Fuck that! There's no way. I wouldn't agree to that. Fuck him. He doesn't deserve. He's a fuck. How do you turn your back on? Because people say, "Oh, you would do." I go, "No, I wouldn't do the same thing." First, I would have been able to build a stadium.
Matt would produce it and then just continuously mute Jack.
He'd have to
throughout the entire episode, but wouldn't let Jack talk to him at all.
Like Joe Pesci out here, just. So Chris missed the opportunity when we were talking about San Diego flooding. I'm going to go ahead and take it upon Chris because I know he was worried about it.
Take it upon him.
Was Mark Hamill's street okay?
I think so. Since I asked, I text my mom and said, "Hey, you guys okay?" She said, "Yeah, we're just getting a lot of rain." So I'm assuming since it was so close, and since it was probably in the area Chris was staying at, so close, yeah, it was probably fine. It was a lot of it was just I just sit there watching I thought that people were joking. I said, "Holy shit, they're getting a lot of rain."
Was the aircraft carrier okay?
The aircraft carrier was fine. It was able to float.
They put screen doors on it recently.
Yeah. that was a submarine they put on there.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of. But see, again, with places like San Diego, unless they don't have any water, they don't build any reservoirs. So where does that water go back? Right back into
the toilet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why don't you build
the
reservoirs that fill up? But the land's
God's
so expensive.
Toilet. The Pacific.
But the land is so expensive, they can't afford to build those kind of things.
Speaking
Earth's second toilet.
I've been saying this since I was a kid. I go, why don't we have like giant pools of water?
Speaking of screen doors on a battleship,
it's a submarine.
I know, but that's the joke is from Back to the Future, Jack.
I get it, but it's submarines.
Yeah. Matt and Chris, did you see that meme where I sent you guys where the theory, which was really cool about how Back to the Future and Goonies take place on the same day?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Did I get for it?
Huh?
No, this is strictly geek talk stuff. I mean, you had to like.
I guess it's not Star Wars. It's not Star Wars talk. Why can't I be invited?
It's kind of 80s Star Wars talk. So it's Ready Player One.
All right, now I feel like I'm Richard Grieco.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
So anyway, Jack, I'll fill you in.
You know what?
We talked about.
I don't care. I
don't care anymore. Okay, fine.
I don't care anymore.
Joe Theismann.
My friend, this is John, retired guy. My friend can't stand Joe Theismann. You know, his actual name is Theismann, but he wanted to sound like Heisman, so he was in college. He changed it to Theismann to rhyme with Heisman.
Why would he hang it above his toilet? Like, so he
20 years ago, his coworker got him an actual autograph frame picture from Theismann. He hung it above his toilet.
I guess, yeah.
You watch.
So you're taking
every time you pee,
you're taking a Theismann.
Well, that's an old joke actually, because there's two ways of thinking about when you hang something above your toilet like that. Like either A, because you hate them so much, you want to take a shit by them. But the better joke is an old British joke, old Revolutionary War joke, where it was,
they're coming.
No, it was it was a British pub, and they hung a picture of George Washington above the latrine. And a guy colonial walks in, and the British think, oh my God, he's going to be so pissed, blah, blah. And he comes back out and sits down, and they all have a drink and no big deal, and never says a word until finally hours later, someone goes, what'd you think about the picture above the toilet? And he looks at him and he goes, well, I thought it was appropriate. And he goes, what? He goes, well, I figured if there was anything to make a British guy shit any quicker, it'd be a picture of George Washington above the toilet. I was like, it's just an old joke, but it's like, yeah, It makes total sense.
Fucking British.
Yeah.
Showed them, didn't we? Twice.
That's right.
Fuckers.
And don't forget, we bailed your asses out in WW2.
Yeah, so fuck.
WW2.
Even though I'm like got a lot of British, I mean, I'm probably insulting myself.
Right, I know, me too.
But
You're
fuck
Scottish.
off, man. Fucking Brits.
British,
You're
Irish,
Swedish.
German.
You have that big surplus of all the military equipment because you don't go to war.
I do, but we have that knife.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You kill somebody with a toothpick. A fucking toothpick.
If you
And it's plastic toothpick, bro.
Plastic, yeah.
If you can fucking kill someone with a toothpick, you're fucking James Bond.
Mm.
Am I right?
He's gonna get the cuticle scissors out.
Or
I'm gonna
MacGyver.
cut your fucking hair.
Don't bottle cap me eyes.
I ever seen a corkscrew? Oh.
Who the fuck is Phillips anyways? Why does he have a screwdriver?
Why can't I find a fucking standard? And why is it a British accent when we're doing Swiss?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You
You
just kind of
bloody
got down that
mental.
road and just kept going with it.
But no, again, we kicked ass on the Brits. Just stay on a little island.
At the end of the day, we fucked them up. So
Their asses. Kicked their asses. It was like almost like I'm gonna use You remember the Super Bowl when you had the Giants versus the Patriots? And the Patriots were 17-0.
2010.
Oh yeah,
Lost the game all season.
Yeah.
We're going against Eli Manning.
You might as well have flipped the names because that's what it was like.
It was
like you had this
America,
one gigantic
the
team
American-
that
the
everybody was
Colonials,
like, "Oh,
the Colonials versus
really?" It was the
Brits.
revolutionary team that came in
And
there that
Tom
nobody
Brady
expected.
was the Brits,
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
they lost because David Tyrell was able to hold the ball on his. Tyree was able to hold the ball.
well,
on
don't
his
forget
head.
about the safety.
face it, Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like Brady had that safety in the end zone. That was not a.
Also
great-
remember when Eli Manning should have been intercepted, and it went right through. Who's the name of the cornerback? Samuels?
Asante Samuel.
Asante Samuels. It went right through his hands. Should have been intercepted, and
All
it
right.
didn't happen.
Am I getting emails?
Oh, yeah.
So that's just like the
fans actually
the Colonials
enjoy
versus the Brits.
watching teams they hate lose more than they enjoy watching their own teams.
Oh
win.
yeah,
it's proven.
yeah.
Scientific fact. Look
Like
at
John's saying, USA. Who didn't get excited when the Americans were playing the Russians in hockey in 1980? You guys weren't.
I
even
really thought you were going to go
Only
Rocky
only
IV.
Matt was alive.
Fucking.
I was alive.
Yeah.
Just
Were you alive?
No, I wasn't.
Winter? No, you were almost.
I was like
Almost
14, so there's no. Wait, was I 14? I was 12.
Wait. When
That
is
was
this?
great times.
It's winter of
1980.
80, so it'd be like
Yeah.
January, February, March.
Do you believe in miracles?
But was it January of 1980?
I
Yes.
want to say that's when the Winter Olympics were.
Mm.
Yeah, it was January at Lake Placid.
Yeah.
It might have been February.
That's where that big fucking.
I would have been
alligator
3.
is.
They had the worst ice, though. I mean, you look at the ice
Yeah.
of the ring; it was terrible. It's like, okay, who was in charge of
Terrible.
making the ice? Terrible.
Horrible.
Terrible.
Horrible.
Well, it was New York.
Hey, don't we have any
That's true.
emails?
Anyway, do you believe in miracles?
We don't have any emails, do we?
We have one miracle.
Oh,
it,
you
is
know-
from, it is from a fucking Canadian, though.
Hispanos.
Oh,
Fucking dick.
let me guess. It's
Oh,
Jessica.
it's Jess?
Yeah, see? Everybody knows.
Really? I thought she was frozen in.
And then
She's
somehow.
frozen under,
Mm.
mate.
Frozen down under. Dum, dum, dum.
Okay.
Women go and plunder.
All right, this is 2 paragraphs. Not too bad, but. All right. So, hello, Matt, Boston, Jack, and Nick.
Wait. Why am I third?
I got first billing. Thank you.
know.
That was sweet.
There's
How
a
does
reason I
Boston,
should
how
be
does
fourth,
Boston get
probably.
second?
I don't know. I mean,
He's not even paying attention to this point.
People don't hate
he didn't even.
people don't hate as much as they hate you. Sorry.
Wow.
Again, people love seeing their other teams' rivalries. They like
whatever.
seeing teams lose.
Whatever.
So
17-0 and choked it.
It's been a while since I've emailed in.
The
and-
worst.
And we
fucking
appreciate
game.
that.
yes,
Uh,
yes. Thank you. Go ahead with the email.
Wait, what did she
listening.
say? Because I
So
wasn't
she said it's
listening.
been a while.
Since I've emailed in, I said we
Well,
appreciate that.
That's great. We really.
Ooh,
I was counting down the days till you emailed again, Jess. But that's okay.
I saw in the news that Madonna is being sued by fans for constantly not starting her shows on time or even
Huh.
close to the start time.
Really?
Hmm.
I don't follow her career, enough to know anything about her concerts, but I've heard she has been known to start a show 2+ hours after its supposed start.
Wow. Who does she think she is, Nick?
Who does she think she is? She's a material girl. That's who she is.
That's true. Material world.
Madonna.
Madonna. I've heard people actually defend her for her lateness because it's part of the experience.
Wow.
Having been to many concerts myself, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
If you as an artist can take their money but cannot respect your fans' time, then you need to fuck off and not tour. I'm also looking at you, Miss 3 hours late, Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Anyways, Boston Nick, I know you guys have been to numerous concerts.
Yes.
I'm wondering, what was the longest you ever waited for an act to start, and who was it? What artist would you wait to see 2 to 3 hours after the start time, or would you say fuck it and leave? For me, the longest was an hour for the Beach Boys. The reason was their plane was late.
Nice?
The reason was their plane was late, and they had to drive 45 minutes to the venue from where they landed. They were very apologetic, and when they arrived, they played a few extra songs to make up for it. That is all. Keep up the great work, Jessica, the arrogant Canadian.
Wow,
nice. I actually have a really good one. I was at a My Morning Jacket concert, and it was at the Massachusetts Mass MoCA, which is the Museum of Cultural Arts, I think is what it is. And it was an outdoor show, but it was in the middle of nowhere, like deep western Massachusetts. But it was a crazy fucking lightning storm, like torrential downpour and like life-threatening lightning.
Yeah.
And people like huddled inside. They opened the doors of the museum. We huddled inside these rooms and just like waited. We waited like 3 hours for the storm to pass because they said they weren't going to cancel the show.
Where was this
at? Mass MoCA. It's a outdoor amphitheater in Massachusetts.
Mass MoCA.
Museum of Cultural Arts.
I gotta like that. I can't like that name.
The Museum of Cultural Arts.
So what happened?
So they ended up going on like 3 hours in, and they still played for almost 2 hours.
Jeez.
So we didn't. They were just so appreciative of people. Like nobody left. Like
it's hard to get
everybody stayed.
To be fair, life-threatening lightning. Could anyone leave?
Well, I mean, you get in your car and fucking go home.
Well, you got to get to your car.
Life-threatening, like lightning, meaning that you can't just be out in an open field.
Well, next
which I'm saying, you got to walk to your car. It's metal.
Sure. Yes. So like it was, but like no one left, but the show was fucking awesome. It was one of the best live performances I've ever seen.
All right, I like that.
Great answer. Yeah, I don't think I
Nick,
have.
You have
one.
an answer?
Yeah, Richard Grieco. Yeah. I know that there's been several where, because I'm so OCD, like when the ticket says 7 o'clock, I show up at fucking 7 o'clock. Or sometimes I show up an hour ahead of 7 o'clock because I think, I better get there. I see it starts, but it starts at 9.
So you're a pain in the ass.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's often what will happen. It'll say like 7 on the ticket, but that just means the doors. And then the show's at 9. If they don't say 7 doors, 9 show, it'll just say 7 and show. That's what's always fucked me in my concert experience. But since I think it's setlist.com, which is I go to quite a bit.
.fm.
Yeah, .fm, yes. Setlist.fm. That is an excellent source of
it's awesome.
People who will go. One, it will post a set list, but it will tell you the average start time of the show. So that's what I've used for probably the last decade of like, doors open at this. The show is really starting around 9:10 or 9:30 or 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever. And so like, okay, so I can go to this place, eat, get a few beers in me, then go, and I've done that several times. So I probably, in my experience though, always at festivals. When now Chris figured it out.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great photo, Chris.
And it's one of my favorite pictures.
What was I going to say?
Yeah, photos, shows.
Oh yeah, festivals. Yeah, like festivals were always the ones where that would happen, but you're so out of your mind on drugs anyhow that you don't even notice. True. But because it's like that famous Kanye show he did like 6 years ago or 7 or whatever it was, where like he was supposed to come on at midnight, and because of just all the other acts, he didn't get to go on until like 3 or 4 in the morning. That happened to me a lot at Bonnaroo, to where you're expecting the show to start at 10, and then it doesn't start till like 1. But like I said, you're on mushrooms or acid,
and you're already kind of like at
you
a
don't
festival.
You don't care, man.
You don't remember.
Matt, do you have a story? Concert story?
Do I have a story?
Yeah.
The longest I've waited for a show?
No, just a concert story. I mean,
a concert story.
I look like I'm sleeping or I'm dead.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things that I wasn't sure what was happening with you, Jack, if you're spazzing out.
I'm always spazzing out.
I can't remember one specific, although to Nick's point, I've been to a lot of different concerts where the doors do open at a certain time, and if you want prime location to the stage, you might want to be there.
You gotta show your boobs.
But then you're also kind of standing there too, because then you got to protect your spot on the stage. So
I've done that several times. Yeah.
Yes, and I honestly I can't remember who I've done that for. It's so funny. It's just like you put it like to get up front, like close, like it's like I can't even remember some of those bands that I did that for, or like friends bands that would play, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm going on at 10," and it's just like all of a sudden they're going on at midnight because they got bumped or something, or they've been waiting.
You have to stay there because they're friends.
They're waiting because it's like they're waiting for more people to show up or something like that, and you're just kind of like,
who shows up after midnight?
Yeah.
A lot of bands and musicians play like late.
Sometimes showing up early though can be very beneficial, because I'm not sure if I've ever told you guys this story or not. So in 2015, okay.
Why am I still frozen?
Fine.
I don't know. Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
In
2015.
Yeah, 2015, David Crosby was playing a really small show in Santa Barbara. And I at that point had never been to Santa Barbara. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to drive up Santa Barbara and kind of tour around, which is it's a small town. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go.
Just a small town.
Yeah. And so I went up, and kind of did a little touristy little bit of Santa Barbara. And then I went to where he was going to play, which was like a very small place. Probably 3 to 4 hours before the show. And it was all kind of like, it was an indoor show, but it had a big patio to the side of it. And when I walked up, they didn't have like the doors to the show open, but I was just sitting outside, just kind of admiring the view, because Santa Barbara is a very beautiful place.
Yeah, admiring the view.
And then David actually walked up with his son and his lead guitarist at the time. And he looked at me, and I just like walked up. I was like, "Hey, Dave," I was like, "Do you remember me? I hung out with you last year with our mutual friend." And of course, as soon as he heard me say this guy's name, he's like, "Oh, yes!" And he remembered. And then we just ended up sitting around this table and had lunch together.
Well, that's nice.
And so it's just one of those things where it's just one of those memories that you're like, "Hey, because I showed up early, he remembered me." And then of course, Jan, his wife, showed up later, and of course, she was
finally you showed up early, and it paid off.
I always show up. I'm not like you, Jack. I show up on time.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I can recall my Cindy and I
Snowden in black over there.
Yeah, I'm in black.
Witness protection.
Cindy and I first started dating. We were going to go see Boston, and I think the concert, I want to say it was in Irvine or Long Beach. So, her brother wanted to go, so we drive up. He lives in Los Angeles. We drive to Los Angeles.
Always good to bring a second person too, just in case you don't trust him.
Exactly. And he decides he doesn't want to go after we paid for his ticket and drove all the way up there. So as we're coming back, what happens in LA when you're driving?
Traffic.
Blowjobs?
No, there was no blowjob there. So we're driving, and now we're stuck in traffic.
Trying to spice it up,
and we're not moving. So I missed the opening act, and now I'm getting pissed because I've never seen Boston. It was one of my favorite bands of all time. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? and we got there. We got into the arena just as they started.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's lucky though.
But I'm saying if we hadn't I can't remember who the opening act was.
Knowing Jack, I really thought this was going to have a tragic story.
Well, I'm going to say if we hadn't gotten in there, I probably wouldn't have gotten married. I would have said, "This is
really."
Fucking I was losing it. I go, why did we drive all the way up to LA for your brother to say, I don't want to go?
Huh?
and then turn around and trying to come back.
You were airing out some fucking old laundry right now.
Yeah,
brother.
I've
been carrying his ass.
I was a little bit upset. Anyway,
I'm glad that.
But at least we got to
things
see
worked out.
Boston in there, but they didn't play Smoking, which is
sometimes I imagine
about ready to piss my pants. Wrap it up. Who is?
Yeah, that was me.
Wait,
Okay,
what?
Chris.
We got to wrap this thing
You're reading the private chat, Jack. That's like a cardinal sin.
Well,
unless Matt says something racist, then we say it.
Yeah.
That has never happened on this show.
Wow, that was below the belt
this year.
So
anyway, let's
so
wrap
close.
Is that the only email we had?
Yes, it was the only email.
This one. See you later, guys. Thanks for the memories. Vote Keith Moon. No, we'd like to thank some patrons that make this show possible. If you want to become a patron, go to jayandjack.com, click on the patron link, become a patron. Like so many others, you can donate at any size or donation, but there's a million that make this show possible. And Jack is going to read those names because
we have Eckhart, Richter, Glaffeler, Maggie the Magnificent, Joe Ann with a Plan, and Ed, the creepy, poopy letter carrier. Thanks for what you do. And thanks for everyone who joins us live. And we'll be back next week without Nick and maybe Richard Grieco.
We'll see.
Or who else was I talking about getting?
Let the good times flow.
Oh, Pete Best.
Peter Best.
Or the guy. I've always wanted to talk to the guy from the Warriors. Warriors.
His birthday.
Whoosh.
I got to.
Good night, everybody. It's been great. We'll see you next week without Nick, but we're having
Chris.
You remember all that water they had in San Diego?
Blow your bladder.
Flowing water. Anyway, that's all we got. Hasta luego.
That reminds me of this story.
Bye. Good night.
Hasta luego and goodbye.
I was trying to see this band one time and
fuck's sake, Jesus Christ. All right. See y'all, everybody. Bye-bye. See you next week.
You're becoming an old man. You can't hold your pee.
I know.
No, I had an entire one of these things.
I can't even push the stop button. It's on Jack.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot it was me.